Hi, I'm Brad Sugar and welcome to Business Basics. Today what we're going to take a look at is the 6 keys to a winning team. Now, building a good, strong team in any company or in any area, I guess, sporting or business, either way you look at it, is going to be a process. Now, the process works pretty simple. There's 6 fundamental keys that we have to have in order to build that winning team. The first of them is strong leadership. Now, it's not just leadership, it's strong leadership. We need to make sure that we have the greatest leadership team or the greatest leader within the company. You know, too often companies are managed into oblivion, I guess. Companies don't need managers, they need leaders. You know, having a manager is important, but having a leader is of vital importance. And the strength of leadership is something that we always look forward to. You know, I'm a great football fanatic, and it doesn't matter what code of football you follow, whether it's the English soccer or the Australian rugby or Australian rules or the American gridiron football. Any way you look at it, the strength of the leader, the coach and the head player on the team, the captain or the quarterback, the person in charge, the strength of those 2 people is of vital importance to making sure that that team wins. The second part of any company is a common goal. Any team coming together needs to have a very strong goal that pulls them all in the same direction. It's that goal or that commonality of goal. I remember talking with General Norman Schwarzkopf, who was the leader of the forces in Desert Storm. I was lucky enough to meet him twice in my life, and he said the first time round something interesting about how when he was in the Vietnam War he had 17 politically correct points written down on a single 3x5 card that he had to keep in his top pocket laminated. You know, and then he said, well, when I went to Desert Storm, I told them all this one common goal: kick Saddam out of Kuwait. It was just a singular common goal that was easy to remember in whatever language any of the troops came there through. And this is very much a big part of what it is we're looking for in a company. One common goal that everybody knows, that everybody can relate to. Now, the other thing about a common goal is it's got to have common purpose. In other words, there's got to be benefit in it for everybody. So it can't just be to make another $1 million or another $20 million for the company. It has to be about the common goal, something where everybody on the team wins. That moves us to the third point. We need to have the rules of the game really clear. I know in my companies we have a culture statement that are our rules of the game. It's very clear to our team members, these are the rules, please don't break them. They're written down, they're up front, you know, and in that way we get a much better result. If you try and leave team members to work out the rules of the game as they go, well, they're going to step on people's toes, they're going to go over the edge at times, and they're going to learn things the hard way. And the reality is that doesn't make it a very good experience for either them joining your company or for anyone that's already in the company that already does know the rules, the standards, the norms, whichever way you want to put it. Fourth point of creating a winning team is an action plan. Who does what by when? We've got to know who's doing what job, when are they going to get it done, and how's it going to be done. Too often companies are left where there is a bit of a plan, but there's not an action plan. I know in our business we plan every 90 days. All of our clients, all of you as an Action Coach client, you'll be doing your plan every 90 days. Having an action plan of who's doing what by when makes a team far easier to manage. It not only does that, it makes a team easier to lead, and it also gives the team members the opportunity to do the best work they possibly can because they know what they're doing, where they're doing it, and how they're to get it done. Fifth, we go to one that's a little more esoteric, and that is what we call the supportive risk-taking. And that is this, that, well, it's kind of a simple philosophy, and that is that if no one's not making any mistakes, then they're not trying anything new. The fact is that to grow companies, you have to do new things. You can't stagnate, you have to grow. So if you're growing a company and you want that company to grow quite strongly, then very simply put, you need to be on top of your game. You need to be supporting your team members in doing things that they haven't done before. So make certain that what you're doing is working with your team members and supporting them when they do new things, supporting them when they try new stuff, and supporting them when they take risks. Now, that doesn't mean to be crazy about it. It just means to be reasonable about making sure that they are trying new things and trying new ways of doing things. Finally, we get to the sixth one, 100% involvement and 100% inclusion. It's not 99 or 98, it's 100%. If you want a winning team, you need 100% of people involved. You need 100% of the people on the team basically participating in what's going on. Too often I see companies where you've got 10 people really working hard, you've got 5 people doing some work and 5 people doing almost negative work, and so it negates 5 of the people doing all the hard work. So we've got to manage it from a perspective of we need to have inclusion and involvement. It's the job of the leader or the manager to include everybody. It's the job of the team member to involve themselves in all situations. So make sure your team are involved, make sure they're including themselves, support them when they do step outside their comfort zone and try something new, support them in that. Make sure that they have an action plan to follow with rules of the game that keep them on track. Make sure that you give them the goal where those rules are taking them, and make sure you keep the strong, decisive leadership taking them to the position where the company needs to go. Keys to a winning team are very simple. Doesn't mean they're easy. You've still got to work dang hard to get these things into play. Leadership is not something that can be systematized. Leadership is not something that can be magically formulated. Leadership is something that comes over time. Leadership is something that comes with experience and learning, and it's something that you're going to have to learn to build a great team. I'm Brad Sugars, and these are the Business Basics.